My country is of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom reign.
Abraham Lincoln said, "I have been driven many times on my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom and that of all about me seemed insufficient for that day."
We're getting a lot of bad Tea Party business from the press and from television. And anyway, the reason we have these tea parties is to educate the people to what is going on, because we up here don't get any Wisconsin news, but we don't get a lot of the news, the truthfulness. And so we just want, that's why we're having this, is to educate the people to what is going on. And
as Randy mentioned, I am the state coordinator for an organization called Tea Party Patriots. It's a national organization, but it is a grassroots organization. And its core values align very well with what is on the Washburn County Board, because it's fiscal responsibility, constitutionally limited government, and a belief in free markets. So today is Constitution Day. 224 years ago today, 42 men gathered in Independence Hall in Philadelphia. They had come to the hall to affix their signatures to the document that would later become our Constitution. The Constitution the delegates bequeathed to us. The Constitution we hope to pass to our posterity made the United States of America the freest country on earth, the freest country in human history. Many now denigrate and many now disparage the work of those delegates. But the work they were about to send out to the world will proclaim for all that every person can and should decide what best conduces to that person's individual happiness. Perhaps John Adams said it best when he called it the greatest single effort of national deliberation the world has ever seen.
Well, I just want you to know that, you are the heart and soul of this country, and there has been a lot of bad PR about the Tea Party, and they call it a Tea Party, but in my own mind, I think it's a movement. It's a Tea Party movement. There's many groups. We had a bunch of you down Tuesday into Madison to greet the legislators back to Madison last Tuesday, and maybe some of you were there. It was a great event. But there's some animosity towards the Tea Party movement because there's people that just don't agree with you. And we have turned into a government of intimidation. I've got to watch that firsthand the last 8 months of government by intimidation. So they've done it to us as legislators, and they'll continue to do it to you as Tea Party members. You will be intimidated, you'll be bad-mouthed, you'll be called everything in the book because they don't agree with you. It used to be years ago, we disagreed, and it was fine. And you discussed it, and you disagreed, and you went back home and had beer. Not anymore. If you disagree with somebody, you have to hate them. That's where our culture has came to. I think part of that is because of the lack of godliness in our country. We chased God right out of our country. Civility is gone. We went down a bad road, and you people are the ones that are going to be able to bring us back from that road. So I applaud you on your efforts. You guys are phenomenal for being here on such a cold day. I appreciate you being here. They asked me to come here and talk a little bit about what's going on in Madison and what we've been doing the last 8 months, and they said I had about 10 minutes. Well, if I tell you what's been going on the last 8 months in Madison, it's going to take me about 10 hours, not 10 minutes. I got a lot of things that are going on in Madison, so I'll try and keep it short. I'll give you a few overviews of what's going on. The budget repair bill was one of the very first things that came down the road. I'm sure you all are aware of what the budget repair bill was all about. We had some major fiscal problems in Wisconsin. We have some major fiscal problems in the whole United States of America. But we were critically bad here in Wisconsin. Per capita, our debt was amongst the highest in the nation. We're a small state, small population with a huge debt. We had to take care of that, and tough decisions had to be made. And thanks to the Tea Party movement, the people that got elected, people like myself, we're fiscal and social conservatives, and you got us elected. You were a big part of that. So we actually could do something in the state of Wisconsin, whereas the federal government, we got a long ways to go there. And until the states can take the federal government over, we've got a terrible mess up there. So continue to bring your state legislators down to Madison. Continue to do it on a state level, because that's the only salvation we have for the federal government, is to have the states take over. So you send us down there to take care of our fiscal problems. And the only reason I ran, as you can tell, I'm retirement age. And I didn't run because I needed another career. I ran for my children and my grandchildren. My wife and I have 6 children and 9 grandchildren, and we have 1 on the way. And I looked at what kind of a mess I was going to be leaving those children and grandchildren, and I said, there's something, we have to do something. And so my wife said, go ahead, you go and give it a shot. And you are the people that got us down there. So we started out with the budget repair bill, looked at our fiscal issues, and our governor, give him all credit in the world for having the guts to do this, and the backing to do it. We decided to change the way things were done in Wisconsin. We had a $3.6 billion deficit to take care of, and there's only certain ways to do it. We looked at the spending. The spending was out of control. Prime example is when I got this job. The last 40 years of my life, I've been in business for myself. We took it for 40 years. I paid everything. I paid 100% of my pension. I paid 100% of my health care. Everything. That's because I was a businessman. I went down to Madison, and I had to sit down with human resources, and they were going to give you an overview of my benefits as a state employee. I'm a state employee now. And it took an hour and a half to give me an overview of my benefits. I said, an hour and a half? You know, first of all, I didn't even know what a human resources person was. I'd never been to one before. And so I sat down for an hour and a half and went through all of the things. And I said, no, I don't need that, don't need that, don't need that. I already paid for that. I do that on my own privately. And then he got to my health care. And he said, your health care is paid 100%. The premiums are paid 100% by the road, and did a few things. SB 81 was actually a tort reform bill. We all know about frivolous lawsuits and what that does to the average person, much less the business people. We passed tort reform in Wisconsin, a major tort reform bill. We made health savings accounts, tax deductible, for the business people and the private self-employed. Most all the states in the nation have deductible health savings accounts, now Wisconsin does. We did an income tax holiday for brand new businesses coming into Wisconsin. If you're a new business coming to Wisconsin, we're going to welcome you with open arms, and we're going to compete with other states because that's what they're doing. We also passed a bill that requires a supermajority, 2/3 vote, to raise any state income taxes, sales taxes, or franchise taxes in the state of Wisconsin. What concept? We streamlined state government. We ran into some issues with our 3 branches of government, and Glenn, I'm sure, can coincide with me on this. We had problems for both sides. We had the judicial branch trying to, if they didn't like one of our laws, they were going to strike it down. You see what's been playing out the last few months here in Madison. If the judicial branch doesn't like our laws, they strike them down, so that, in fact, they can make laws. Then we have people in the executive branch and the bureaucrats creating rules and passing rules. DNR was a great one for doing that. Let's pass an emergency rule. Well, as soon as they pass the rule, it becomes law. So we have one branch creating laws, and another branch chopping down our laws. So as the legislative branch, who are supposed to make the laws, we were kind of getting left out in the group. So we had to change that. So now the bureaucrats and the people in the staff, they cannot no longer create these rules without our permission. That's the way it was supposed to be, but we had to put that into law. We had some insurance mandates that came down from above last time, forcing you to buy a certain level of auto insurance, no matter what your financial ability is, forcing you to buy a certain amount of insurance. That's been repealed. We did actually pass a bill that's called the Bill to Pay the Bills that says we have to pay our bills. Why would a government actually have to pass a law to force itself to pay its bills? Wouldn't that be a normal thing? But in this day and age, we actually have to pass a bill to say we're going to pay our bills. One of the things that we've done, concealed carry. I know a lot of you have some special feelings about concealed carry. There was a push to put constitutional carry on the books, but that's a little more than we could go at this point in time. But we do have concealed carry in Wisconsin. But believe it or not, only we're the 49th state. There's only one state now. One of the surprising things about that argument was people were, of course the liberals get crazy about everything we do. This is funny too, because for the last 8 months they've been screaming at us for moving too fast, you're moving too fast, you're moving too fast, slow down, you're moving too fast, blah, blah, blah. Last week they screamed at us all week about not doing anything. Because we only had 1 day of session in September, and they were screaming at us because we weren't doing anything. I'm like, wait a minute, which one is it? Well, the Senate had some issues with their recall, so they kind of got slowed down. So yeah, we did have to put a lot of stuff on the back burner and wait for the Senate to get through their recalls back online. So yeah, we had to slow down, but man, for 8 months they screamed at us for going too fast. Can't make up their mind. When I told them, you know, you understand that in Wisconsin we had open carry. You could walk down the street with a 6-gun strapped to your belt. From day one, you could walk into a store with a 6-gun strapped to your belt. The only thing you couldn't do was put your coat over it. And most people don't know that. They think that this is some big change, some macro change. No, it's not. It's just that if you have a permit and you are a responsible person, you can put your coat over your gun. In the previous, you could carry it right down the street. A lot of people didn't know that. We did some repairs to prevailing wage. We had a very labor-friendly governor and legislator in the past, and they passed some bills that were absolutely critical, or crushing some of our small businesses, particularly in the rural areas, with prevailing wage laws. It was very unfair for the local municipalities. It raised the cost of them doing business anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30%. That's been backed off and went back to where it was previously. We backed it off as much as we could, but it's something we did as much as we could. You and I, all this seems normal, right? There's people out there that think this is craziness. I can't understand it. Voter ID. That's just some of the things that we've been doing in the last 8 months. I'm going to cut it off here because I'm sure I went over my 10 minutes. But I want to, once again, thank you people for showing up here today. You are what keep us going. I literally love my job. I know it seems kind of weird to be down there and taking all the abuse and all that, but I actually do love what I'm doing. And I think the biggest reason I love it is because I'm actually accomplishing something. And I also love it because you folks are supporting us. And you've come out of the woodwork.